Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. In today's video, we're gonna have a first look at the end game boss of Season 1, the Resurgent Dragon. So I'm gonna have a look at everything that's available, the rewards, the, rankings, whatever is available to us, and we're also gonna look over the boss's kit. So let's check this one out. So I've now been posting for quite a few days because of several reasons, lots of stuff happening IRL with purchasing a house, and also, you know what, it's been kind of boring from my point of view with just doing the 8 fights daily for the Chaos Shadows, and now we have the endgame boss unlocked, and even today, right, we have a first day of a demo phase, which means today we can do some testing. But obviously the next few days, I'm gonna be, testing out teams, seeing what's the best I can get. There's gonna be a total of 6 teams and 6 fights that we can do every single day. So that's what we're gonna have to prepare for tomorrow. So obviously tomorrow I'm gonna try and release at least 1, if not 2 teams of what I'm gonna be doing. But first of all, let's check out what this is all about, see the kits and whatever. So I guess let's start off with the info. So introduction: when challenging the Resurgent Dragon, each of your heroes can only be used once per day. Choose your lineups carefully. So it's kind of same as we're used to. You can only use one, kind of same as Chaos Shadows, Chief Challenges, right? Use a team once and then move on to the next one. You can challenge the Resurgent Dragon multiple times daily. Rewards are issued based on total damage dealt per rating tier. Whenever the Resurgent Dragon loses a certain amount of HP, all players on the server can claim a reward. The Resurgent Dragon can still be challenged after being defeated. Damage rating rewards increase significantly the day after it's defeated. After 5 AM, 59 days after server launch, the Resurgent Dragon enters an enhanced state with upgraded skills. Details on the intel screen. Daily ranking rewards based on the challenge damage are issued at 5 AM. Cumulative damage ranking rewards are issued at 5 AM, 64 days after server launch. So, if I understood this correctly, starts on day 59, then day 64 is the cumulative damage, I guess the total damage dealt over the days. So this is only going to be a 5-day thing, right? If I saw it right. So once this boss starts, it's going to end. It says that the boss difficulty, if you can see behind me, boss difficulty will soar in 4 days and 19 hours. So if I understood correctly, it's only going to be 5 days of this, and then that's about it. If we check when the server ends though, season ranking, it's still 15 days and 19 hours. So this means what? 5 days of that, there's going to be 10 days of nothing. That's going to be interesting to see. But let's continue looking at this one. So exploration rewards is kind of the same thing, right? You get into the cycle, which everybody should get to the cycle point where, honestly, apart from this one that can give you a pretty special piece of gear, of the mythic ones that you can take to the next season, none of them are rewards that we really care about. Then if we look at damage rewards, this is what is disappointing to me. The only thing that we care about at this point is going to be this one, right? The master pages. So if you do rank S, with every single, with whichever team, let's say you get 1 master scroll per day. This one, most of us should be getting to a point where the Divinity upgrades should be max, and then the exploration progress again just gives us more. So there's nothing here that we would care about. We look at 25%, we get again just master scroll that we care, 50%, 75%. So the only rewards that make sense for the sake of the next season are the master scrolls. So again, this is just me, right? I'm not trying to be too bummed out. I still love the game, right? Still my favorite game out there. But I feel like the reward they did to the end game is not the best, right? It's not the best. They kind of removed any reason from my point, like 99% of reasons for people to try and compete or get better teams. They just removed it, right? It's like, give us chaos anything. The sad thing is, unfortunately, I cannot see this one, right? The damage rankings, I cannot see the rewards. But I guess tomorrow in my video, when I'm gonna try and see, when I start with my best team, I guess, or whatever I find, that's when we're gonna be able to check this one, right? So I'm gonna check and see. Hopefully this one maybe gives some rewards. But then again, if only this gives us rewards, if you rank, then it's gonna be again, it's gonna be bad towards like people that are not high spenders or krakens or whatever. But still, let's see. Echoes of the Other World is pretty much the same thing, should be done. Anything else we can see? The buffs, we all should have the same buffs, right? Hopefully you got into an alliance that managed to hit at least 3 million. My alliance hit almost 115 million, so it should be pretty okay. Now let's check the boss's kit because I want to see if there's, you know, anything that maybe has been changed as far as I can remember, even though it's hard to remember as it's been over a year and a half since we changed this one because we got to season 4. But let's start with the passive. So Copper Dragon gains 8 stacks of power of Dragon Rage when the battle starts and or after casting Dragon God's Roar. So Power of Dragon special stacking effect, it can stack, its stacks can be reduced by increasing ally ultimate energy or decreasing enemy ultimate energy, which is an effective way to counter the boss. So I guess this one's gonna be good to keep in mind to try and remove it. Then if you continue, when any unit on battlefield triggers ultimate up or ultimate down, the effect will be nullified and 1 stack of the buff will be consumed instead. Additionally, Copper Dragon gains stackable total damage bonus permanently after each cast of Dragon God's Roar. So every time he does the ult, he gains that damage stack. So this one's the same, right? It is the same. It's really important to try and have a ultimate up or ultimate down in the team, which can be easily done, honestly, by having the Puppeteer set, right? You just have the Puppeteer set on your team, they cast it, it triggers the boss's stuff, plus there's other ways where you can get it through skills. Check the second passive. When Copper Dragon deals damage, it reduces the max HP of the target by a certain percentage based on the actual damage dealt. So this first thing kind of tells us again, as I think it was the same before, that having shields is going to be pretty important because if you have shields, it's not going to reduce your max HP, which means you're going to be able to survive longer. So people like Dauntless, like Catherine, people like Darius with a staff, they're going to be pretty powerful. Or anybody that does big healing, just give them the staff and this should help give us some shields. Let's look at the skills. So skill 1, AoE damage, inflicts a stack of burn. Second one, AoE damage, 3 stacks of burn. Again, so it's lots of burn happening to us. Third one, AoE damage, dispels 1 buff from each of the from your team. If 2 or more heroes have no buffs after dispelling, the boss gains defense up 2 for 30 seconds. So you're either gonna need a buff remover or you're gonna need to have buffs in yourself when you cast this, because if he has defense up, you're gonna do a lot less damage, obviously. Then the next one, again, AoE damage to all enemies, inflicting attack penalty. This is gonna be something that you would hopefully want to remove it or block it, right? One of the 2 options, remove or block, which, you know, removal is a lot easier because there's that mythic piece of gear that says that the wearer dispels, you know, 1 debuff every time they every time they place a shield on allies every 20 seconds, plus there's a talent as well that does that. So there's, you know, I'm gonna go more into that once I'm gonna show some other teams. And then the last one, the boss deals AoE damage. If it has no Power of Dragon, it will enter weakened. So you obviously want to try and make sure he doesn't have this, so he enters weakened for 3 seconds, because during that time you're going to do 50% more damage, and that's when maybe you're going to try and do the most amount of damage, because getting, you know, 50% damage extra is going to be huge. So after that, Copper Dragon will regain 8 stacks of Power of Dragon, which again, increase ultimate energy or decrease it, and you're going to be able to deal with it. Now, the good thing is, it's a 30-second full recharge, right? The whole rotation of the boss is 30 seconds. And the only ones that you really care about much is this one, to try and block the boss from getting defense up or removing it. This one, so you don't get attack penalty, so you do less damage. And then, obviously, at the end, try and make sure the boss doesn't have this one and survive, right? Because if the boss has the Power of Dragon, he's not going to enter weakened. So you want to make sure that he enters weakened, and then you do most of your damage after he enters that weakened state. Now, I see that the required accuracy and resist has gone up. It used to be, I think it was max 280 or 300 back in the day. Now it's 332. However, it's a lot easier to get to this point because if you look at the buffs that we have, right, we get 40 accuracy and 40 resist straight up. Then we also get from the, let me just jump into a fight. But from going to look at the elemental affinities, right, the 5-man synergy, even at 3-man synergy, you get 50 more accuracy and 50 more resist. So you're going to start off with 90 accuracy and 90 resist before we even take this into account. And if we do a little bit of quick math, which, you know what, I'm still a little bit sleepy, so I can now math that, so I'm just going to do this. Minus 90, which means you need to get around 242 accuracy on your people before the other buffs show. Because in the building phase, where you try to build up your people, this doesn't show up, right? It doesn't show you the total that you have from the other buffs, it just shows you this. So you need to aim for around 240 accuracy or resist if you want to resist stuff. And then once you're done that, you're pretty much, you know, guaranteed, apart from the 3%, which can happen. But apart from that, you're pretty much guaranteed to be able to do the max amount of damage. Now, do keep in mind that this boss still has the same thing for each of your fights, like the Chaos Shadows and like the Chief Challenges, that says after taking 200 million cumulative damage in a single battle, subsequent damage taken is reduced by 90%. So you can only do 200 million with one team, and then everything else after that is just capped, right? I'm not sure though, it says cumulative damage. So maybe after you hit 200 million once, that's it, right? All of the other teams do 90% less damage. This is something that I do not 100% remember, and I don't think we can test, unfortunately, because even if I do this, right, even let's say I throw my wild team, I do a simulation, it's not like I can save the damage and can see what the maximum damage is dealt, right? It's not like, okay, save this one, go for the next. Doesn't show. But like I said, we're gonna see more tomorrow once the demo phase is off. So for example, this one, right, I did 279 million with my wild team, even though I only survived 8 minutes. But do keep in mind that this one, again, you know, some people died, still can go 2 minutes. This one was with damage capped after 200 million. But I do believe that maybe it's, maybe I don't understand it correctly, but I don't think the cumulative damage is like that. Or maybe just, you know, your team does the amount of damage, but only puts 10%. I'm not sure. If anybody has seen this, maybe on Chinese servers, let us know in the comments down below. But yeah, I really wish I could have seen the ranking, but there's not much else, you know, I can show in this video. I guess just time to test out, see what teams work. One thing that I do want to mention though, keep in mind that if, let me just show you something, right? If you look at the way that the boss is, you kind of benefit, apart from like obviously really powerful teams like Wild, you benefit more from having AoE damage in the team, because you see there's like one boss claw, then there's the boss main, and then the other boss claw, and that's it. Or this is the tail, right? So you have the claw, boss, and tail. So you kind of have like 3 targets to deal with. So for example, if I bring, let me try and just throw in the team to test out. So for example, if I bring my Necrosis team, I might be surprised and I might be able to do more damage. Or let me see, do I just go with, let me go with this one, right? Let me go with my Frost team. The one that was like, you know, pretty cheeky and pretty strong with Vidimir. Let's see how this one looks. I just quickly simulate it. This one should do pretty good damage, right? Because Vidimir keeps throwing that stuff around and it should be doing pretty good, unless I die too early, right? Let's say I don't survive and die, but let's see how much damage I do. Again, I might expect him to get more than... Okay, so I didn't get a lot more. I still had people that died. Actually, the whole 8 minutes, the total one. But still, I do have a feeling that, again, apart from the really strong ones, like, what's actually, yeah, Vidimir is not as good because you have stuff to die. But I do believe that AoE damage dealers are going to be shining more in here because, like I showed, right, you have a wider range. You have more things that you can hit for the boss, so that should be able to do more damage. Let me just randomly see if I throw in my, let me do this. Let's get him over here. He's going to go in front. Do they reach? They should reach. Okay, let's run the rally team. So again, you see that I don't place him over here, I place him over here. Or maybe I could even do this, because this way he's going to be hitting one of the legs and then he's going to be hitting the boss. So this one, as long as I survive, again, I don't have, you know, I don't have shields and stuff. So maybe I might get Garrus in the team instead of Talendor or something. But this one should maybe do a lot more damage, right? Because again, does AoE damage? Okay, same thing, only does 208. I guess some people die. So, you know. Anyway, the idea is AoE damage should be doing better. I expect Dauntless to be doing really bad. I guess let's throw Dauntless in just for a random check to see how Dauntless does, because this is the one that I'm expecting to do a lot less damage, like I mentioned, because of the fact that, can I move it? No, I cannot. So let me see, let's do this, let's do that. Over here, maybe. Just trying to see what's the best way that everybody is kind of like covered by these buffs. But, oh wait, I don't have to do this. But, again, the reason why I'm expecting this to do less damage is because they only hit one target, right? And overall, Dauntless is a little bit less powerful, unless you have Nashchenka, Tharabol, you know, all the strong ones. So, only focusing on single target should do less damage than having AoE to hit everything. But, again, keep in mind the mechanics of removing the increased defense, of removing the bosses, you know, blocking the decreased attack and stuff. But, again, you see I actually died earlier, and the damage is pretty much, you know, a little bit less. But anyway, let's leave it at this for now, right? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, which is like, you know, just a quick overview of what we can do. And then we're gonna see more tomorrow, because I'm really curious about this damage ranking, right? This is the one that's gonna be really important to see if we get more Chaos Crypt Sidra. Is it gonna be a daily ranking, or is it only gonna be like one ranking, like it says over here, right? The cumulative ranking, because at least I hope there's a reason to push, because otherwise it's kind of like, you know, what's the reason to push? Just do whatever you can and wait for the season to end, which would be really boring. But thank you for watching. As always, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, run. Bye, guys.